Welcome back, everybody. We are about to hop into our third and final adventure of the evening, a legendary adventure which I have entitled Regaining a Stronghold. And before we get into it, actually, well, we're not going to introduce characters because I think you already all know and beloved these characters. So instead, allow me to set the scene for all of you. The four of you, alongside of Roger, are standing in the control center. The control center, geez, the control center of the moon base. Roger is going through making some kind of last minute calculations, aiming and setting up the arcane catapult that is going to put you down towards the ground. The decision that you made, your goal on this your first expedition into the land of DnDTime proper since your awakening from the illusion, is to retake Kurogan's stronghold that was gifted to him as he became a myth-cheered adventurer, and to kind of find yourself something of a base of operations on the ground. But when you were looking at Kurogains in the past, you learned that it was being occupied by a group of Morts. Where we begin, you're all walking around doing kind of any preparations that you're planning on doing before you hop down. Um, as I said, Roger's at the controls, busily preparing the catapult itself. What are all of you doing, and how did all of you kind of prepare over the last kind of several weeks for this your first kind of excursion down to the ground?
I
I've
have
been...
been doing. Go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
Damn it. I have been doing a lot of training, gathering some supplies, lots of rope, trying to convince Euchaunkus not to eat everything he sees, which is very hard, by the way. We've been devising a plan, and well, I think we've got a good one here. I think this is going to go all right.
We have a plan?
Sort of, yes. We're going to go in, bash stuff up, capture a lot of people, try not to kill as many civilians as possible, even though they are Morts. Capture one specific Mort, especially, and clear out the Stronghold so that we can make it our base. Maybe reactivate the magic force field and stuff.
I've been using the illusion room to scout the ground. And see what's going on down there. Specifically, I'm also looking to see if there's a courier service that the Morts have set up.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and just make me an investigation check for.
Boy.
As just a cursory, you've been doing this over the course of the week. 7. All right. You've been looking over. You've been looking. Oh wait. Should it have been different, or did you just change?
No. It's just my name.
Yeah, as you've been looking over the land of DnDTime and the area kind of around, observing the Morts in particularly carefully, you've noticed a few things about the Morts. A courier service, it's hard to tell, but you are getting the impression that the Morts are relatively well connected to some of the other great evils. For example, just kind of getting a couple of shots, the illusion isn't very accurate, and it can only get certain areas in any great degree of detail, areas where in the past Bartholomew had kind of like strongholds and bases of his own and things of those sorts. For example, entrances to Bartholomew's shop throughout the world. There was one of those in Central City, and in kind of observing that one from time to time, you see Morts walking past, and you'll occasionally see Morts armed with weapons that are scary, that are dangerous. You see one of them wielding something that looks like a math goblin square weapon. You see other Morts kind of wielding candied weapons. It seems like they're very well equipped, and they've been, just as the Morts were the masters of the underworld in Central City, now that the whole world is the underworld, it looks like their operation has expanded to, the underbelly of even the other kind of great evils, so to speak. That's kind of what you've learned. Specific details of courier routes and which groups they are more interacting with more or less, you are uncertain.
Okay. Should we disguise ourselves at all? Look like Morts?
I don't know. Do you have a spell for that?
Oh, no.
I am a giant golden dragonborn with shiny golden armor and wings.
Well,
Wait,
I mean, Clinton. We could tell him apart. He was just Clinton, but sort of Morty. What if we, I don't know, grab disguise kits and I don't know what the Morts look like? Sideburns.
I believe, for one thing, the description of the Mort: bald, balding, kind of a comb-over haircut, very short, stocky, wearing a kind of a plain white tank top, most of them. But you see a lot of them are now kind of equipped in better armor.
All right, so we sort of hunch over. We shave everyone's head until
well,
it's
I'm already bald,
sort of
so...
balding.
Beer belly.
All right, well, we have to shave Lance and Selcress. Beer belly.
No!
I think maybe we can get some wigs for that. Or bolt caps. I did...
Also, just for the record, Clinton the Slaughter Mortar, you knew he was Clinton because Roger pointed him out, but I believe he looked identical to every other Mort.
Well, how the hell did Roger know?
He just looked for Clinton Slaughter Mortar. Or you could ask Roger, as Roger's in the space.
Roger, how the hell did you know?
Oh, he was living in. Well, he was living in Clinton's house for a while.
That doesn't mean he's a Mort.
That
I mean,
does
Or,
not
wait,
mean
I mean, that doesn't mean he's Clinton.
You should see all the Mort furniture. It's
Ew.
horrible.
Oh god.
It's terrifying.
What is he, skinning Morts and making them into furniture?
No, all of the animated furniture is also Morts.
Is it weird that my mind went to skinning them first?
Not for you.
I think that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. I trust her judgment more than the other two, so...
I guess.
Rude.
You know, Kurogan, you talked about your great plan, but I'm wondering, what is your plan?
Oh, I thought I explained it. We're going
I mean,
to
You're gonna
rush
sneak
in there. Yeah, I mean,
No, you're not gonna sneak
I mean,
in.
sneak in, definitely sneak in. Not Russian. No, I wasn't Russian. What do you... There are
He
some
doesn't
secret
have a
interests.
plan.
No,
I
I
think
do.
we're going to walk
Okay.
into Kurogains and start fucking killing people.
No, there are some secret entrances that I planned on using that are a little less obvious than the front door.
Let's just hold on a second. Euchaunkus, if you do get on a killing spree, it'd probably be worth your while to, see if you can sneak around a little bit more and find some more information out. These Morts are really well connected. They know a lot about a lot of the other powers.
Do you think I could convince them to bring a message to the Warlocks?
I don't know. I'm not a Mort. I don't know how Morts think. Maybe.
Morts don't talk. You know this.
What are you? What are you? Are you a trigonome or?
Me? No, I'm a rock gnome.
You're not made of rocks.
So I have a quick question. If we were to bring Morts back here, could you convert them to unmortify them?
I think so. Maybe with enough experimentation.
Okay, good.
If you can capture a couple of Morts just to practice on, that would be good.
I mean, we're going to capture a bunch of Morts and, of course, hopefully Clinton Slaughter Mortar. But, let's not do the experiments on him because he's kind of important.
Do you want them
Well,
to be
that's what I'm
expendable?
saying. I'm just look. This is your what?
Hmm?
No one's expendable. We have to save
Well.
the world, not kill.
We don't trade lives!
All right,
look,
Captain
all I'm-
D&D time.
All I'm. That was a good one, Euchaunkus. No, all I'm saying is it's probably good if you could bring a couple Morts back, learn a little bit, about maybe the other powers while you're down there. Morts are pretty chatty, and they don't really have much. Yeah, I guess I can get you most of the way towards Central City. By the way, I've been messing with the trajectories here on the catapult. There's a clearing in a small forest just to the north, where Bartholomew used to have a teleportation circle, and I think I can get a pretty good lock on that.
Perfect.
99% chance you'll land up in the right spot.
And
That's 100% with these arcane catapults.
There are a few secret entrances that I had especially created for,
That's good.
when I had to sneak out and do some secret training so that the other Kurogains members didn't see.
Secret exits, huh? Does your fiance
training?
know about these?
Yes, she's the reason I built them.
What
To
if she's
escape from
I'm
compromised?
very confused.
That's extremely rude.
No, it's so that we could sneak out. And never mind.
Train.
I feel like you
Anyway.
could just walk
Yes,
out.
today-
It's your club.
But not in the middle of my training session.
It's not as fun, Euchaunkus. Yeah, sneak out. Anyway, well, I guess the one thing that's really important, you need to kind of get back to the arcade catapult for me to bring you back up. Why we use the teleportation sigils, they can launch the arcade catapults most of the way up without us having to actually have teleportation sigils here. Which, of
So
course, would
secure
be
the
incredibly
base.
compromised.
Oh, yes. So secure the base and then report back to the elevator?
Oh,
Catapult.
well, if you secure the base, you can just open the teleportation sigil there,
That's true. What?
and that'll be fine.
Those damned Morts must have closed it or broken it or something. I will destroy them!
I
See?
haven't been able to get a lock.
Now we're on
Well,
the same page.
Is there anything
Yeah,
I
find
can
them
help
together.
you all with? Before you
I don't
head
know.
down?
Any ideas on how to blend in more? I mean, we're a bit conspicuous. Other than looking like Morts, because that's obviously not going to work since these
I
two
think
don't
we're
shave
gonna
their
stay a
heads.
bit conspicuous.
Maybe just
I've got
try
the-
to be a little
Uh,
stealthy about it. Morts are not super attentive as far as.
What
I
if
can
we
tell.
just act? What if we just act like we're supposed to be there?
Guys, don't worry, I've got it. Kurogan just runs out of the room for a second, and like 2 minutes later he comes back and throws cloaks at everybody. It's perfect.
The
I mean, it
Morts
might
do
work.
like
Who
their
knows?
clothes.
Also,
I've-
he's not wearing any armor, he just has his crest on.
Does Roger have glasses?
Roger does have. He's got
Alright.
half moon spectacles that look like they
Um,
probably don't help for very much.
I
except-
take his glasses and put them on.
Ah, why'd you?
Do I look-
Euchaunkus,
Part
give
of
him
your
back!
disguise.
It's also my turn. Pipe down.
But your turn for the glasses?
No, my turn to tell everyone what I've been up to these past couple weeks.
Yeah, come on, Euchaunkus.
Did you want the glasses?
No, just give them back to Roger. I don't care.
All right, I'll go find glasses.
So, Selcress, what have you figured out?
Well, I've been communing with the Vistas. Trying to figure out more about the artifacts. Artifacts? They are artifacts, right? Yeah, they're artifacts.
Items.
And what did I find out?
Fair enough. Go ahead, Selcress. Was there like a one that you were like looking into?
The Morts were the lens, right? Probably that one.
Yeah. Go ahead and make me. This would probably be more religion. I would let you make a religion or an arcana check to commune with Levistus. I think both of those are reasonable.
Religion. All right.
Oh, all right. Yeah, you've been using kind of some of your like communication abilities with Levistus, and it's been difficult speaking to Levistus, as you're finding that your connection to your patron, while you still have your strength, it has been dramatically weakened. There's a lot of like interference and disturbance that is hampering interplanar communication and travel. The words that he has spoken to you have been garbled. Sometimes you get the impression that it's just nonsensical, and sometimes you're just hearing like an odd, soft music instead of even getting Levistus. But from some of the words that have kind of gotten through, you've heard Levistus kind of say things along the lines of, when asked, when asked about things like its location, you've gotten the following clues. First off, Mort had it, for he knows his weakness, and then
Mort had it.
he had it, and then he lost it. It was taken from him by the people of Central City and by their law enforcement at one time. It has not been seen since. This is the knowledge that is kind of ambient in the world about the thing that you're able to pick up.
Okay. What about questions about its nature and such? Like what it do?
With regards to its nature, it very much, the impression that you get is, he describes it as sight beyond sight. And that the Mort, absolutely fears it. Again, that is why he collected it, because he saw it as his weakness.
Okay, so it definitely goes to the Mort. Okay, so we need it. It's probably somewhere in Central City. Sight beyond sight. Aside from that, maybe a question about the Mort.
Mort himself.
Yeah.
Yes. In preparation for the coming mission, I have been spending my time in prayer and meditation, communing with Saloon, with Euchaunkus focusing on much more of the physicality of our endeavor here, and of course knowing Kurogan, having the inside information, I figured I would focus on the Morts themselves. Not so much them in general, but who they truly are, to see if we have any persons of interest or high-profile targets that we would want to ensure we liberate from the Mortphage.
Okay. Go ahead and make me... and what is the manner in which you're trying to do this? Are you trying to... are you trying to, like, do it the same way Euchaunkus was, by looking through the lens?
More, magically through communing with Saloon.
Alright. Sure, go ahead and make me a religion check as well.
Do I get a bless on it?
No, as
I mean,
described...
not a bless, again, fair enough.
As I described, interplanar communication is an absolute struggle right now.
Yep, nope.
And as you've been trying to do so, your communion with Salune has been bare. You've kind of taken some walks out on the surface of the moon to try and like open your attunement, but as I described to Selcress, it's for you. You haven't even had those fragments. It's all been static, been silence, and again, just kind of this strange, creeping music.
What does this music sound like? Is it nondescript elevator music, or does it have a memorable tune?
It's very faint. Kind of nondescript is a good way of putting it. It sounds like piano.
It wouldn't happen to sound like Claire de Lune, would it?
No, it does not.
Alright. just making sure.
That's a fair
That
question.
would have been a good one, though.
Well.
So which of the evils plays piano?
I don't know. Roger.
What's up, Selcress?
You have a way? Could you like point out a slaughter mortar to us while we're down on the streets?
I don't think he's in Central City.
You think he's back in the Baradak Swamp?
I don't know where he is right now. This sensor uses, and it's not very good. Euchaunkas, you've been messing with it all week. You can tell it's not. We get glimpses of people when they head by places we need to see.
If we set up Kurogains as a base, could we get more accurate information or install a lens down there?
Probably. That would make a lot of sense. But, well, I was hearing you talking about your plan and,
Yes, plan.
looking at those cloaks. Do you want me to just make you all look like Morts?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
please!
If you're so able.
I was half expecting a no out of you, Euchaunkas, because you seemed really gung-ho on the...
But like make us sort of like ourselves as Morts, you know what I mean? A little
I
bit.
mean, I could just make you very generic Morts. It'd probably be a better disguise.
Yeah, you're right.
Make
I mean,
me the
Euchaunkus,
most
it's like,
generic
I can make
Mort
you-
ever.
I can make you like a lizardy Mort.
Oh, no. You can make me a regular Mort. I don't care.
Euchaunkus, you want to look like a lizardy Mort?
No.
Wait, Mort's not already somewhat lizardy. What? This
No,
skin.
Selcress.
No, he's
Selcress,
slimy.
Selcress, do you want to look like a lizardy Mort?
What are you saying we're slimy?
I can pass. I'm already gonna look like an inferior being. It really doesn't matter what kind of inferior being it is.
All right. Well, I'll just and Roger kind of swings his star wand, and poof, the puff of sparks that shoot out over you. It's the lamest magic you've ever seen.
You killed me.
Yeah, sorry. I spiced things up when we were back in the Grand Illusion. This is
Oh,
what it
you
looks
made
like in real
yourself
life.
far more impressive.
Oh, you made
And it
yourself
wasn't
cool.
that impressive.
Look, all right, I'm doing the best I can. But he casts upon you all a spell of seeming.
What are you talking about? It's perfect.
That does not change your voice.
I
So
think this
you
is
start yelling.
Kurogan's
No, this is actually Kurogan.
question.
Yeah, he's
Kurogan,
impressed.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a Mort.
I've been working on it.
Oh, this is gonna
Clearly
be a
it changes
blast
that
to watch.
voice.
I'm a boy. I don't talk and stuff.
Yeah,
Morts don't talk.
Morts don't talk.
I eat people. Wait, that's not what Morts say. That's what I say.
Hey, we don't
I'm walking here.
Hey, I'm walking in.
Selcress, you appear 1 foot taller than you normally would as a Mort. That's all.
I appear like a foot and a half smaller.
Yeah, pretty much.
Look, Selcress went through a growth Mort.
Oh.
Wait, shut up! I don't like
Set this
that!
down before this gets ugly.
You take
Or than it already
psychic
is.
Damage.
I mean, we're Morts. We're pretty ugly.
That's why I said uglier.
I don't know, Euchaunkus. You kind of got an side grade.
I'll kill you, Roger.
I know you will.
There's nothing stopping me.
You know he can eat you quite easily.
You ever seen a
Euchaunkus?
Mort unhinge his jaw and swallow someone whole?
That sounds terrifying.
I'm afraid I haven't. I really shouldn't have taken that moment to drink some water. Well,
People down, Roger.
all right, cool. Everyone get in the arcade catapult. Everyone get in the little glass dome or sphere. We're gonna launch you down. Hopefully you'll land safe and sound. It should be a relatively safe landing. We got pretty good at these before, everything happened.
You say that like you're a trigonome.
Cut forward to us landing on the roof of Kurogains.
All I'm gonna say, make sure you get back.
We
Kurogains
will.
isn't worth dying. At least not. You can always go back again.
Yeah.
Every time. If you gotta run, you gotta. Good luck. Weird. Bartholomew's adventurer Morts.
Hey,
Bye,
Roger.
Roger.
How long?
We're just Roger.
I mean, laters, Roger.
Alright, Morts out!
So the four of you, now disguised as Morts, doing your best Mort impressions, you step now onto the catapult, the kind of circular platform from which you were kind of bubbled and then launched up. Roger makes a few kind of cursory runs over the controls, precisely, and says one dramatic line before launching you into space.
Are we ready for takeoff?
That was the lamest! Morts out!
And as you're saying that, Roger has already hit the button, and as you're saying that's the lamest, that's the as you are launched upwards and out. The way the catapults work, if you remember, it seems to surround you in these almost magical coating, these kind of these kind of elliptical bubbles that you're now kind of encased in as you launch upwards, straight up out of the moon and then down, passing through the kind of nebulous barrier that surrounds the moon and downwards towards the planet below. And as you get closer, you've looked at it from a distance from the moon, but the land of DnDTime is undecidedly changed. That pale kind of green sun still kind of casting its awful light over the land of DnDTime. You can see, landscapes that are just kind of charred and bashed, huge kind of craters as you're getting closer to the ground in places. Footsteps of giants. And as you eventually come down, you get closer and closer to the forest, and you take your first steps into the land of DnDTime. Since you have awoken, I need you all to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Oh my.
Oh.
Oh my god. And as you all step down, as you look up into the green sun and see it beating down upon you, you can feel it draining your will and your resolve almost instantly. Its mere presence is oppressive and terrifying. You're not frightened of any one thing. You're not sure what it even is that you fear. It is just this creeping dread that seems to sit in the back of your mind now, just kind of lurking there.
Well,
And
this sucks.
and it's cold.
What kind of hell have we landed on?
We're gonna have to destroy that. I say, pointing at the sun.
Not the sun, whatever's behind the sun.
Don't worry. We'll still have the moon if we destroy the sun.
And as I said,
Yeah.
it's cold. Selcress, even you can feel a slight biting chill. The rest of you kind of feel the sudden urge to just tuck your cloaks up around you as a kind of a bitter wind is raking through. The land of Central City is temperate, and it's hard to even tell what season it is with the land of DnDTime and the way that it is, but you know that it shouldn't be nearly this cold.
I knew this would come in handy.
All right, boys, just hang on one second.
Yeah.
And
What he
Selcress is
said.
gonna go ahead and use this real early, so I don't forget.
As Selcress kind of rallies and kind of casts her rainbow-colored cape out around her shoulders, you all feel a bit reassured. But something strange also happens as you do that. As your cape kind of whips up, you see some of the dust and rocks about the ground and the kind of rubble in the area where you are. As I kind of said, you're in a forest, and in this clearing, there's kind of this big teleportation circle. You see a few of those pebbles as your cape kind of kicks up are just left hanging in the air, floating in space.
Dear Hummer.
Yeah, it's pretty weird, Mort.
And
We
the
should,
forest-
get going.
Yeah, what he said.
And that's not all. As the forest around you, you know that some of the forests around Central City are lush and filled with life. And you can hear some distant sounds of bugs chirping, if only lazily. But it is devoid of color.
Yeah, what? It's...
And last but not least, as you see the pathetic state that the land of DnDTime is in, Selcress and Lance, you hear a sound that is familiar to you now. You hear just very softly in the background a music that you've heard a couple of times floating just kind of through the cosmos as you are trying to speak to your elder patrons. Here it's louder than you've heard it before. A soft melody on the piano. It seems like it's still distant, like it's being played through an old phonograph, but you can hear the sound of a piano that just seems to be ambient in the air. And that is the state of the land of DnDTime. And before you, you have the forest and the path south. You're a bit north of it right now, towards Central City.
So I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna activate my Knight's Crest and put the armor on me and see if it changes my image.
Um,
Or if the illusion is over all my wearables.
all right, you kind of spread the armor out. It kind of wraps and encapsulates you underneath the illusion.
Perfect.
Disguises physical appearances. Yep. So it does not.
Wonderful.
You're still a very tall Mort, as it can only make you a foot shorter. But,
They also can't see my rad shorts. Yet.
Yeah, well, a lot of Morts wear shorts too.
My gravitational shorts are especially
yes,
good.
Those are special shorts, yeah. And you kind of begin your journey south towards Central City.
Let's go.
As you
Get back.
as you walk and work your way towards Central City, eventually the first kind of obstacle that you encounter before you is a large wall. Central City was never completely covered in like this, but now it appears that the Morts have built some kind of, just basic defensive barrier around the city. And as you get close to it, that music that's just kind of floating in the air abruptly cuts out. In the distance behind it, you can hear kind of the rumbling of towns and conversations. You're not in the city proper yet. Kurogains isn't, directly in the thick of Central City, but you can still hear, the sounds of Morts going about and doing their business. Walking along the top of the wall, you can see a large number of Morts acting as guards, just kind of patrolling and keeping the perimeter of Central City as it was safe. What do you all do? You're kind of hiding a bit away from the wall right now.
I mean, we look like Morts. I guess we can just go walk up.
Yeah, we're just gonna go.
You're gonna wander around to try and find like a gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You get over to the side. There's a gate and kind of a cobbled path. You can see two Morts on either side of it. They seem to be pretty well equipped. These two Morts both appear to be wearing chain. One of them is wielding a strange-looking crossbow. The other one has what looks like kind of a baton of some kind, like a nightstick almost. And they're standing on either side of the gate, just kind of quietly standing, watching. Beyond, as you're kind of looking past, you can see more Morts, just going about business. You can see some Morts, like carrying crates. You see a Mort in an apron walking past with like baking bread and kind of carrying some goods in the distance as you're moving into the city now proper. As you get to the gates, the Morts kind of speak to you. Hey, good evening. Good evening. How are you Morts doing tonight?
Good evening. We're doing good. We're just on some usual business.
Go ahead and make me a deception check immediately for your ability to imitate the Mort voice. And he goes, and initially, he kind of was just like nodding and very kind of just happy to see you, but as soon as you kind of spoke, he goes, his eyes kind of almost instantly narrow a bit. He goes, going about some business, you say? What kind of, I don't know, we didn't get any notifications. You get any notifications, Mort? And Mort kind of looks back, no, I didn't get any notifications. We weren't really expecting anyone at the gate tonight, you know how it is. What kind of business you guys have?
I'm looking for a courier.
Looking for a courier, huh? Yeah, what for?
I mean, I got a message that needs to be sent to the Warlocks of Fashion.
Yeah, well, wouldn't that be better given to your commander, Mort?
He sent me here.
He sent you to... What battalion are you guys part of?
Baradek.
Why is that Mort so tall? He points at Kurogan. The other Mort kind of goes, yeah, that Mort's kind of short.
He's got a defect.
Oi!
He's got a defect.
Fun of me. What the hell, Mort?
Go ahead and make me. Go ahead and make me an intimidation check, and I'm going to give you advantage because of all of the collective morting that you got going on here.
Who's making the check?
You.
Me? Okay. Okay, advantage on check. Intimidation. Yeah.
22. All right. This Mort kind of looks at you and goes, All right. Take it easy. Take it easy. We're all Morts. We're all in this together, Morts. Okay? Some of those middle Morts, though, those are the real. Ugh. And he kind of turns his head to the side and like, there's some real monstrous Morts. I'll tell you that. You don't even want to. Well, you don't even want to see some of those early ones. No, we're some of the early Morts, the easy ones. We're just, illusion Morts. So you guys are probably flesh and blood Morts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be rough, or so I've been told. Yeah, come on in. And you said you were looking for a courier? I don't know anything about some kind of fucking courier, though. Because, that has nothing to do with me. So you would have to talk to your commander about that, okay?
Man, I gotta find a courier.
Look, we'll just talk to your commander. It's fine.
Look, this is why. This is why I told you to get some information beforehand.
I didn't think I needed it.
This Mort, I tells you, he'd forget his head if it weren't attached.
Thank God it is, huh?
At least I ain't a short Mort.
What'd you say to me?
You heard me.
This one's got all right, get out of here. We got guards to watch, and you can see there's some more Morts kind of walking up behind you on the path now.
Ah, gotcha. Have a good night, Mort.
Yeah, good. Have a nice night. The other one kind of nods. Night, Mort. 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 Mort.
Mort.
Mort. Mort.
Mort. Mort.
And
Top of the Morton tea.
Well, that went well.
You guys kind of step past and begin moving into Central City, and it is all Morts. Every single citizen that you see walking around is a Mort. Most of them are armed, even the ones that seem to be going about pedestrian tasks. You see that one that looked like a baker before? Has what looks like a small kind of repeater crossbow at the hip still. Every single one of these Morts appears armed to the teeth, and as you walk by, you get a lot more looks than the average Mort. Just the slight variations that you guys have in your size. Apparently they're not completely unheard of around here, but they're definitely uncommon enough that you guys are kind of attracting a good amount of attention if you're walking down main roads.
So how tall is a normal Mort?
The average Mort is 5'8".
Actually, then I am perfect height, 5'8", because my normal height is 6'8".
Oh, I thought you were 8 feet tall.
No, I'm not Cho'Gall.
I thought you were huger than you are, I suppose. So I guess Selcress is just a little bit of a short Mort.
Yeah, just
a bit of a short Mort.
A little shorty morty.
So
Shorty Morty, pudding and pie.
Yeah, you guys kind of continue.
You want to die?
I think you do want to die.
You get some stares, you get some looks from other Morts, but for the most part, just kind of walking the streets. You're more or less left alone.
I'm stopping Morts to find out if they know of a courier service.
Mort, that's gonna attract attention.
Okay, I need to do this.
Look, perhaps we should find the Kurogains first and scout it out a little bit.
Don't you know where it is?
Yeah.
Yes, obviously, but we gotta get past all this. I don't know if they put any more roadblocks up. I mean, look, they built a fucking wall.
we're slightly diverging into British. Don't worry.
We're bad at
you see one of the Morts kind of actually at this point walks up. He goes, "What's up with the British accent?" And by that I mean the Old Town accent.
He's got a.
I've been working on my impressions.
Yeah, he's been working on his impressions.
Go ahead and make me a deception check. It would be with disadvantage, but
It's an infiltrator mode.
But you guys are helping him, so you'll have just a flat one. As apparently, as he's about to say, and he goes, Morts don't do impressions. We can't. Do you know how hard I'm trying to speak in my normal fucking voice right now? I didn't even say the word. I didn't even swear there, and it still came out, because that's just...
What generation are you?
They kind of look at you. 5.
See? That's the problem! Us newer Morts, they give us a few extra skills to, help
And
take
so-
over.
I get real close and whisper, skills meaning defects, and then sort of back away from it.
These
and
older Morts coming in thinking they're the shit.
this Mort kind of looks around, and he kind of turns around and he goes, "Hey, Mort, get over here!" And he yells at a Mort that's just kind of like walking. It seems one that's a little bit more of an intended guard Mort to kind of come over. But this Mort is now decidedly suspicious of you guys. You're still kind of on the main thoroughfare, and you can tell that this is definitely going to attract a lot of attention if it escalates anymore. What do you guys do?
Hey, you got a problem, buddy? We're just walking here.
Yeah, we're walking here!
You hear a couple of Morts on the sidelines kind of call out. I mean, they were walking there. I saw them. They were just going down the damn street. But this Mort seems like to have really keyed in on you at this point, and he goes, "Yeah, well, I'm talking here," and he kind of gestures to that guard to continue to approach. He seems pretty set in at this point.
Oh yeah? What you talking?
I'm talking.
Is there something nearby, like something kind of small nearby?
Small how?
Well, if it's, it doesn't have to be a specific size, just
like
something.
a rock or like something like
A
that.
rock, something like that I can
Yeah.
cast like light on, like kind of stealthily to
Sleight of
cause a
hand-
distraction.
Make a sleight of hand check.
All right.
Light is touch, right?
Yeah, it is.
What are the components of light?
It's vocal and material.
Okay, so you have to say something to do it. So you reach down, you kind of make like you're gonna kind of tie up your shoes, and reach down and grab the rock. You have a nice object in the palm of your hand. You are gonna have to kind of get past the vocal somehow. As
I'm gonna like cough as I'm tying my shoes.
yeah, I'll just give it to you with that sleight of hand check. I'll combine it into one. And so yeah, you have the rock kind of clasped your hand around it. You've casted light on it. It's shining, but you're covering it up with your palm, so it's not making any
I'm
noise.
gonna then kind of try to. Does he have any pockets or anything I can put it in?
I mean, yeah, he's wearing like a regular kind of tunic.
I'm gonna try to slide it into one of his pockets,
All right, that's gonna be real hard. But
or like even just to kind of toss it in some like a pile of something nearby, and be like, "Oh my God, what's that?"
fair.
Wow. Wow.
Go ahead and make me another sleight of hand check. This is gonna be another little bit of a tricky one here, but we'll see. All right, you get this rock and you light it in your hand, and then you just kind of like do a big cough as you light it, and as part of that cough, you just kind of throw it out to the side over behind, and you watch as that Mort in particular is gonna roll a perception check. Where is my boy Mort? Here he is. Boop. Not super good at this, but he does catch it. He just kind of turns and he goes, Did you just throw some kind of light?
Alright, so while he's distracted.
More, yo, Mort, get over here. And actually, you guys, hey, yeah, you, get over here.
I'm booking it.
I'm gonna while he's doing that, I guess, minor illusion, a really loud sound down a different alleyway. Like, oh yeah, that's a big bang.
Okay. Make me a charisma. This is going to be just a spellcasting ability check to see the quality of your distraction here.
Alright, cool. Just a charisma thing?
Yeah.
Sure. 24.
Oh my god, it's an incredibly loud and realistic sound that no one would ever think came from a mort, because morts don't really do magic. And as you kind of like point over, in the opposite direction, then like the sound comes from the other one, so no one's looking as you do the noise, and a whole bunch of morts that are just kind of nearby. A lot of them like, oh, it's a bomb! A lot of them kind of like duck down and kind of like curl. Some of them kind of like run into houses, and you see the streets now just all of a sudden like the morts think that there's almost like war going on.
Yeah, we're bailing.
We're bailing.
I use that illusion to also cast Thaumaturgy.
And-
To make the ground shake a little in response to the explosion sound.
And I'm
Okay.
also picking up Selcress, running into a different alley, activating Fly and going up to one of the roofs.
Okay. Yeah.
We're bailing
So
hard.
you bail. Roll for initiative at this point. And the Morts collective will roll for initiative. And we'll play some more fitting music, I think, for this. There's kind of this huge explosion on the side of the street. Kurogan, you just grab Selcress up and kind of just throw her on the shoulders, as you kind of generally do. And you watch now as, just from all of your perspectives, you see a Mort with just another slightly smaller Mort on its shoulders run down the alley and then just pick up and start flying, which is absolutely wild. But is it an action to activate the wings, or do you just do that?
It's bonus action to spread it. I'm putting 2 points into it, so I have 60 feet.
All right, yeah. So you gonna dash, I assume.
Yeah.
You're just like piecing out of there. Meanwhile, a lot of the morts are like that are kind of on the street are picking up like crossbows and like weapons and stuff as they're like running out of their houses from the bomb that they think have gone up. Like all of them just like armed to the teeth. That's gonna bring us next to Lance. Kurogan books with Selcress.
I can do nothing for them if they're booking that far off, 120 feet off, up and away. So everyone's freaking out, getting arms and armor. I'll just get like a rock. Do they seem to have noticed Kurogan yet?
Oh yeah, I mean, he watched him throw a weird magic rock, and then like a bomb went off in the distance, and this guy was already kind of drawing attention to Kurogan.
I think I'll grab a rock or something and throw it at Kurogan, because I imagine there's about to be a volley of people shooting at this crazy Mort thing and, you know, hiding in a crowd kind of deal.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
That was actually pretty good. Does an 18 doesn't hit you though? Does it?
No, no.
What is that? +2 for strength. Does a well, you're probably not proficient in throwing weapons. Oh, but he's 120 feet away, so there's no way you reach him anyway. You just kind of lean back and just chuck the rock as
It doesn't hit me, sorry.
far as you can, and it doesn't even come close to like.
A 20 is what hits me.
Well, I was gonna say like he has proficiency probably because you just have proficient in random stuff, but also he's just. You know,
I'm far away.
He's
And
just
in the
too
air,
far.
you know.
Yeah, you're just too far away. I think 60 feet is the outside range of a thrown kind of thing, or even might be 30. So yeah, it clatters to the ground, and one of the nearby morts kind of goes, "Good try, we're gonna get him though. Hey, where's your crossbow?"
I broke the string on the mission.
You know what? Here, do you want me to lend you one?
Oh, thank you.
And he pulls out of his bag an extra light crossbow and hands it over to you. I want that back though. Once we finish killing this weird mort. Oh, my music died.
Hey, you got another one? I fell on mine.
I only got 2. What do you think I am? Some kind of crossbow factory?
I don't know. It was weird that you had 2.
Every mort carries 2 weapons. You know that.
I thought we carried a club, which I take out a club, and a crossbow.
If you have a crossbow already, oh wait.
Why would you need a second crossbow if you have a crossbow?
I have 2 crossbows. That's kind of my thing. You see, this isn't just a regular crossbow. And he takes his crossbow. And are you doing anything on your turn, or are you just talking to this Mort on your turn?
I'm like, whatever. I don't have anything to hit this guy. He's taking off. I just keep walking down the road.
He goes, hey, wait, watch me!
All right, I'll watch you, but I'm gonna like walk backwards.
I got a regular crossbow.
I got places to be.
I got a regular crossbow, and I got this one. And he takes out a one-handed crossbow as he's gonna fire his semi-auto crossbow at you.
Jesus.
As you're kind of running down the street. This is the Mort that you were having the most issue with. You have disadvantage, though, because you're on the outside of his range. That's a 16, and,
No.
And a crit fail.
Double crit fail!
As he quickly one-hands this crossbow, you see him pull, like, a trigger on it twice, and 2 thick bolts fly out of it lightning fast. They embed themselves in kind of nearby buildings, and he goes, see, this is one, only the best Morts get to have some of these. That's probably why you don't have one.
All right, buddy. You can calm down. Look, I got places to be. I'm walking here as I walk away.
Wow, super offended.
And you begin walking there as you start walking down the street.
I am, as I'm walking, using the, what is it called, the mind prayer to sort of passively read thought minds.
And it's interesting, as you're reading the minds of the people around you, their thoughts are extremely muddled, as part of kind of just what it means to be a Mort and the magic that affects them. As you're kind of catching their minds, they're saying a lot of, like, Morty things, and you're getting some really simple surface thoughts. Just kind of like, you know, like, hey, let's go after that dragon, let's go after that weird flying Mort with a Mort on his shoulders. That was crazy. And a lot of thoughts like that. But in kind of the background underneath it, you'll occasionally hear a thought like, please let me out of this. Please.
Am I catching anyone that seems to be walking here in a very, I just think, look, I'm still looking for a courier.
You're still looking around for a courier? Alright.
And now I'm using my mind-reading abilities to improve that.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Does mind reading help me?
I think that's allowing you to make the check.
Okay. Hey.
Alright. As you're kind of walking down the street, Kurogan, you're kind of off in the distance, and I think Kurogan, I think you're just too fast for these Morts.
I'm too fast. I lose a plus if because I look like any other Mort. If I were to set back down somewhere else, I'd just be another Mort.
You wouldn't know. You'll just be another Mort. That is the advantage and the disadvantage of the Morts. And so as you kind of set back down on top of the building, you kind of, you know, you find yourself in a point, and also, I think at this point, like I said, the combat has calmed itself. Euchaunkus, you're looking around, and you... go ahead, Selcress.
Are Kurogan and Selcress alone on the roof for now?
Yeah, you can hear by a nearby Mort. You can hear a nearby Mort on a nearby rooftop. It seems like there's a couple Morts having like a conversation over there. But
all right, then I'll pull Kurogan's illusionary ear down and be like, "What the heck were you thinking?"
I was just talking and walking there, and that guy heard me or something.
Yeah, don't do impressions. You can
didn't
only
mean
do the
to.
more impression.
I didn't mean to. It's hard sometimes to go from impression to I can get confused sometimes. Lay off.
Come on, let's go. It's fine.
and
We have to find Kurogains.
You don't know where it is?
Well, I mean, look, I know where it is supposed to be. That doesn't mean it's there.
Yeah, you remember where Kurogains is. You know you're pretty close to it at this point. But as you're kind of having this conversation on the roof, kind of in muted whispers, in not muted whispers, you can kind of hear 2 Morts. They seem to be arguing at this point over on a nearby rooftop, and one of them kind of calls out the other one. What do you think? I'm the guy? Do you think I know what he's thinking? I'm just telling you what it is that we're doing, okay? The other Mort responds, You know he's gonna alienate. You know who he's gonna alienate with this, huh? Do you know who it is? The other Mort kind of responds, yeah, I know who the boss is gonna have problems with. I think we all know who it's gonna be. And the other one kind of responds, yeah, and the guys that you want to have a tussle with, hey, it ain't me that wants to have a tussle, tough guy. Yeah, the guys that it ain't you wants to have a tussle with, you know they're right down there, right? It's going to be impossible to move about this city if those guys, and the Mort kind of responds, and again, I don't know how many times I have to tell you, do you know who I am? And he looks at you. Yeah, you know I know. Yeah, I'm a Mort, okay? I do the thing that I'm told to do, and in this case, the thing that I'm told to do puts me at odds with the fucking sun, okay? I don't know why it is that the sun turned green one day. I don't know why it is that they just ate all the fucking trash in the world. I don't know why it is that the Green Sun's cult is what it is. But I do know that I guess we're gonna have to go to war because the boss gets what he wants. And what he wants is what they got. And they're there just kind of like continuing to argue about some like mission that they have coming up over on the nearby rooftop. Meanwhile, Euchaunkus, you're looking around, and Lance, are you kind of walking with Euchaunkus still?
I'm walking with a Mort that I sincerely hope is Euchaunkus.
Okay. And yeah, the I'm walking here's have gotten so genuine, you don't even know anymore. You've just lost all sense of like, is this just another Mort? You know, I imagine a quick like detect thoughts or some kind of signal notifies you that it's him.
Yeah, I can at the very least find him.
Yeah.
I poke his cheek and it goes through the skin.
There it is. You feel scales behind it.
I have an idea.
And
all right, so I found this courier, right?
you find a courier. You don't find a courier. You find someone kind of walking past, and the thoughts that are in that are in their brain, they're just kind of thinking about, all right, gotta get this letter to boss real quick. That's a.
I just sort of stop him. Hey, buddy. Hey, Mort.
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Are you talking to me?
What are you talking about? You literally said, "Hey, Mort."
Sorry. Hey.
And
Look,
another Mort kind of goes, "Hey, wait, are you talking to me?"
No, we're talking to each other over here.
All right. He goes back to his business.
Look, I'm looking for a courier. You know where I can find one?
Courier? What for?
I got a message that needs to be sent to the Warlocks.
You talking
You
about
know
the
those.
fashion warlocks?
Yeah, those fashion bastards. Yeah, them.
Hey, you be careful about who you're calling bastards around here.
Sorry.
I guess we got some kind of deal coming up with them. They're making. I'm going to
The
deliver them.
geomancers or whatever.
Wow,
think.
that's quite a memory you got there.
It's okay. Came out and sort of popped out of nowhere.
I mean, you got a message to go. I can just like take it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, this needs to. I think it needs to get to Laurel and Armana. I don't know.
Oh wait, you're talking about Laurel.
Yeah, that one.
I don't know about the other one, but I guess that's one of the ones that we were gonna be designing some coats or something. I don't know. And he goes and yeah, I'll just give this my commander. It might get thrown in the trash because I don't know if he can do anything about that. And if it does, that's not my fucking problem.
Well, you know, it is what it is.
Ain't that right?
Hey, all right, you have a good Mort day.
Yeah. He walks away.
All right, I speak in Lance's head. All right, we need to get to you know where we need to go.
Kurogan, you're listening to these guys talk, or Kurogan and Selcress both. You're listening to these guys talk on the roof.
Yes.
You can kind of see from your rooftop perch also where Euchaunkas and Lance are, kind of on the streets below. The buildings here aren't quite like central city, like skyscraper height yet. They're still kind of like medium in size, maybe like
The
5
medium
stories.
buildings.
They're the medium buildings. Are you going to kind of zip over towards those guys, or?
Well, what I was gonna do first is I'm gonna whisper over to Selcress. I have an idea.
Is it the same as your light idea?
No,
'Cause that
no,
went...
that was terrible. That was on a whim. This is not on a whim exactly. They were talking about how they might go to war with this green sun, and in that whole bomb incident we just made up,
Yeah.
that could play into our favor. Can you change fire to look green?
Yeah, I have a thing for that.
Lance needs to be pulled back up.
Good. Because we could set some things ablaze in the opposite side of Kurogains, so that we could do our own thing, and set a little bit of panic and war.
Okay.
Does that sound like a decent idea?
I mean, I guess. I wonder where they're going to war, though.
I don't know, but if it leads them away from Kurogains.
Okay, well, which way is Kurogains?
That way, I point in the direction of Kurogains.
Okay, let's
go across to the other side of the city.
Okay. Yeah, you up in the air. In the far distance, Lance and Euchaunkus, you see Kurogan as just two Morts sitting side shoulder, just flying high up in the clouds above the city.
Where the hell are they going?
Why are they still flying?
And then eventually flying down. And ask her to hide real quick.
Where?
Just lay low.
Selcress ducks behind, like, underneath a vent or something.
Alright.
Is this low?
Yes, this is fine.
Okay.
Then I'm going to fly within 120 feet of, like, something flammable. But close enough that she can still use her magic. And I'm gonna firebolt the thing that is flammable while she uses her magic to make it green.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, can you explain the plan one more time to me?
Alright, so we're gonna do, like, green sun framing.
Yeah.
Try to create some green flames.
Yes.
Yeah. He's using, like, a firebolt, and I can use prestidigitation for turning it green.
Okay. So you find over kind of in that area, and I will make you roll for this as trivial at some point. You find yourself like a nice cart filled with like baled hay, presumably to bring to like a stable or something like that. There are about 16 to 20 hay bales on the back of this cart, and you're like, well, that's what we're gonna go with. You kind of push it up against. Are you trying to like burn down buildings and shit, or are you just trying to make
probably like a building, just to make a signal or something like
make a scene, essentially.
Yeah, a scene.
Okay.
And also yelling, "This is a gift!" in like in sort of the most deep.
No. Oh god. No.
This is a gift.
Oh my god.
To make it sound as green sun culty as possible.
Okay. You kind of yell that out, and a few Morts kind of go, huh? And kind of look in your direction, and then you guys do your little fire and flame kind of combination, and the stacks before you, the hay bales before you, instantly ablaze. I mean, it burns really quick, and in an instant, it's covered in this terrible green fire, and you're kind of watching it from a distance, and a lot of Morts are like, oh shit, what the, and a lot of them start kind of moving over, and they see, like, where are you doing from this from? Because you said you're just kind of like yelling that into the ether. Are you like flying above it and doing that?
I'm flying above it, doing that, and then flying away to go retrieve Selcress, and fly back up into the air to go towards Kurogains. It's really convoluted, but that's
minor
Kurogan's plan.
illusion him to look like a green sun demon instead of a Mort.
You will need more than minor illusion for that.
Okay.
Minor illusion is very small. If you have like a disguised self, but right now a Mort just blew up that hay bale. Unless you have some way to.
I can use darkness to obscure him.
Alright, that'll work. You create a blur of darkness, so just a circle of darkness in the air shoots green fire, and it blows up this hay bale. And with that is actually pretty green sun.
Yeah, that's really green sun culty.
Alright, cool. We managed to pull it off without...
Yeah.
And then 2 Morts kind of fly out of it, but they don't notice that because they're too busy focused on the fire. And you begin moving your way towards Kurogains.
Just one Mort, but yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm going with you. I got him to pick you up, and then
Yeah, we're
go.
flying away from the rooftop.
yeah.
Lance needs to be pulled back in.
Oh man, what keeps happening with the?
I don't know.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, hi. Discord's mad at me.
Everything's
Perfect
mad.
strats. And in the distance, as you're kind of like watching from the distance as the fire begins to take the building, the initial fire is green, but it is a very regular fire that very quickly spreads and courses over. As I think it can only last for the prestidigitation of 10 feet. So this fire begins to take the building, but you can see the source of it still has this kind of bright green flame around where the cart was. And
They won't know the difference. It's fine.
It's fine. It's still green sun culty. It's like, yeah.
well, there's also just a floating ball of darkness in the air, which is
Yeah,
the-
it's pretty
that-
great difficulty.
that matters a lot. And as you're, I will say for the sake of expediency, you guys are able to find each other again in the city, and Kurogan, you kind of walk the rest of the way. I imagine you guys are moving a little bit more cautiously down like back alleys and stuff, and not.
Oh yeah.
We're not going down main streets anymore.
No.
Not
Okay.
after that fiasco.
Why don't you all make me a collected stealth check?
I'm also deactivating the plate part of my for the stealth.
Well, is there anything conspicuous about me or Lance? Is there a reason we wouldn't want to walk on the main street for us?
I mean, before it just seemed like just the voices were enough. Just even very minor ticks and things that are off seem to really kind of like put them on edge. So, you had the cover before of you had the cover before of Kurogan being so suspicious to mask your own suspicion, but they're pretty noticeable of even minor details. So maybe, I mean,
I thought these Morts were
pretty good.
perceptive.
Still pretty good.
Lance needs to be pulled back up.
Oh man, what's going on with him?
I don't know.
Lance, can you make me a stealth check?
Sure thing.
Oh geez. As you're approaching the area where Kurogains is, you're getting up to there, and you can see now, you're kind of coming to it from behind, and you can hear the muffled conversation of a couple of Morts speaking outside of it, and as you get close, Lance, you kind of...
Lance just disconnected.
That's weird. Well, Lance kind of trips and stumbles a little bit, and kind of just a nearby trash can lid kind of clatters to the ground, and you hear, you guys are in the alley, and a couple of Morts are about to turn. You guys kind of duck up and move pretty quick over to the back of Kurogains now, but you can hear one of those Morts say, "You hear that? What the hell was that?" And you can hear the sound of a Mort now walking up towards your location.
Alright.
Secret entrance
my
time.
illusion to make a cat sound.
And also a secret entrance that happens to be behind Kurogains.
Oh, you want to go in the secret entrance? Unfortunately, it's on the side of Kurogains.
We're gonna have to sneak around back somehow.
That's on the side where that...
Hey, I'm sorry, a lone Mort is coming this way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
one Mort.
Yeah, I made a cat sound.
You make a cat sound, and he goes... you hear him kind of call out, "Oh, cool, a cat!" And he keeps kind of walking closer.
So, I'm gonna run you an ambush.
Yeah, I'm just sort of standing there.
All right. He walks out from around the side of the building, and he turns around, and he looks, and he goes, "Hey, it's 4 more." What do you guys do?
Clocking him.
There's a cat.
You've seen that coming around the
He
edge.
says, as Kurogan, I think, is clocking him. So
I'm
go ahead,
clocking him real hard.
go ahead and make an attack roll with advantage.
This is non-lethally.
17 points of damage. You can't really non-lethal fire damage, unfortunately.
That's
I
just
don't think that's active.
that's not active right now.
Oh, can you turn that off?
Yeah, that's for when I have Dragon's Claws.
Oh, okay, awesome. But anyway, that's not actually enough damage to get him anyway.
But I still have other attacks, more than one.
Yep, go ahead and attack again.
Yeah, I forgot. He's a fighter.
Yeah, I'm a fighter, guys.
That
Did you
is,
forget about that?
That's still not quite enough to finish off a Mort.
How many attacks do I have?
How
I have
many
2
attacks
attacks.
do you have at this point?
I have 2 currently. I think I get 3 next level.
I will also attack.
Yeah, please do.
Alright. Have 2 of these. That's really
They're
pisses-
still an advantage.
Yep, they are. 17, 16, therefore both hit. Go ahead and roll damage on them. And that is enough. You kill this Mort with cold damage. As
It's
this
fine.
Mort-
It's force damage. I knock him out. We're bringing him back.
I mean, you can try and save him if you want, but he's definitely dying before you. As you go around the corner, it's just... and the Mort kind of collapses down to the ground. And you see... as he kind of thunks down onto the sidewalk, you hear the other Mort kind of call out, "Hey, Mort, what's going on back there?" And another one starts walking. I assume you drag this one behind the building.
Yes.
I swallow him.
There's no air in there.
That does not say anything like that on the item.
It's a bag of... No, well, it's the cherry of holding. It functions like a bag of holding. So I
Ah.
believe it's whatever the air in the bag of holding is, which might be 10 minutes.
Chunk is
Yeah, but
just
can't I
That's
breathe
long enough.
full air into the...
thing of air.
Oh no, your lungs and your body does not work in any way that is conceivable by mortal minds.
Exactly, which is why I should be able to pull air into my
Yeah,
freak
swallow
stomach.
air.
We will settle this in the future.
Oh, it's just a cat.
Uh-huh.
And
I
another-
swallow him regardless.
Yeah, okay. So you swallow this dude. Another dude is coming up. You gonna knock out this Mort as well, or?
Yes, we need, like... Roger wanted, like, 2 or 3, so we're getting him too.
Oh yeah, collecting Morts.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'm also gonna activate as a bonus action. I'm putting on the. I'm taking 1 point away from the. Actually, I'm gonna put both points from the wings away and put 4 points into my claws.
Okay. You ready the claws?
Mm-hmm. So that when he comes around, I can get him real good.
Yeah, please do.
So here we go.
Good times. Good times. Knocking out Morts.
That's
Knocking out Morts. A
that's
13.
13.
13 actually misses.
Wow. But offhand, with the Reaver.
Yeah, that hits. A total of 30. A total of 32. He's out cold or dying.
Out cold.
Yeah. We'll have Lance stabilize them before
Lance,
Euchaunkus
You
eats
gonna
them.
stabilize these Morts?
I spare the dying and then eat him.
Oh, okay, great. All right, yeah.
They have about 5 minutes of air with the 2 of them in there, so
Maybe,
let's get inside so I can regurgitate them into a locker or something.
Okay, let's go. Come on, Kurogan.
All right, let's go.
Are you guys, so you go up to the side, and you kind of see the small secret panel that's on, like, the bottom, side of the building. There's kind of, like, a latch that, it looks like just a loose stone, but you kind of reach, into, like, the grating between it, pull it out a little bit, and pull this little lever, which just opens up a chunk of the wall, where there's just, like, a crawl space just barely big enough for a Kurogan-sized individual to kind of crawl out of and out the side.
And I am a foot smaller, so I guess it's even easier.
Well, it doesn't change your size. You're still you.
Okay.
It's just the illusion.
I just
You look
appear
comfortable.
smaller.
Yeah, you look very comfortable in it.
Once we get through on the other side, there is a way to close it.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're going in.
All right, and you hop in and kind of close it behind you, and from the outside you would see that the wall is just perfectly flush, leftovers. This was a secret design space that you had put into your your keep originally, and you begin kind of moving back into the familiar space, and you can hear some just sounds of like just some sounds of like grunting coming from like the dojo and workout area.
I
where
swear
you
to
usually
God, if
train.
they're messing up my equipment, I will destroy them.
We don't have time for this.
And in the to your right, so there's kind of a path to your left leading towards like the main workout room and, like I said, dojo, and over to the side, I mean, there's your living quarters, your kitchen, all of the, just the rest of your house, and the part, because this is also where Kurogan lives. So yeah,
It's very true.
where do you want to go?
First, I guess I'll just turn. We should probably see if the magic circle is secure first.
We need to regurgitate those warts into some
Yes,
lockers.
I think I have a good place to hide them. I'm gonna lead them to the locker room, but to the Kurogan locker room.
Okay. As you're moving through, are you all gonna go? Because you will need to make stealth checks.
I will hang back for a little bit.
At the very least, I have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to lead him there.
Lance, you want to hang back with Selcress?
I probably should.
Euchaunkus, is that a 14 or a 2?
That's a 2.
Okay. Kurogan?
it's a 5.
I'm glad we stayed here.
Yeah. I mean, immediately as they kind of like turn and walk down the corridor, Kurogan, you kind of stumble, or rather Euchaunkus, you stumble a little bit on just some loose weights that are kind of resting around the area. Clearly, Kurogan not on their rack, not where they're supposed to be. It's pretty dark. They don't have a lot of lights turned on in here, but this should not have been here. There's already something majorly out of place. Incredible disrespect of the equipment. And Euchaunkus, you kind of stumble, and your chainmail kind of clatters, or I'm sorry, your splint mail clatters and jangles as you kind of stumble and get your bearing, and you just hear a Mort kind of like walking around from the side into the from out of the kitchen. It looks like he's kind of like eating a chicken wing as he turns around the corner. He just goes, "Hey, Mort, you still want?"
Hey,
This guy's an idiot. He knows the weights are supposed to be there.
And my question now is, how long actually is seeming? Is this just forever?
let's go find out.
Can we say Roger's seeming is forever?
I believe it was a regular casting of the seeming spell. So, regardless, we'll say for... Okay, yeah, you're good. And he kind of looks at you and he goes, I don't really recognize you guys.
What?
And you hear another...
Recognize Morts!
What do you mean with Morts?
And he's just kind of like points down at his body, and you see that he's actually a lot more muscular than a lot of the Morts that you have seen. He isn't just kind of like the same flabby form. He has like some kind of curved out like biceps. He's eating a chicken wing, which doesn't do a lot for his case. But the beer belly that most of the Morts have is kind of like tucked in and very kind of, tight even. And he goes, "You don't look like hey Lord." And he calls out Lord. "We got new recruits or something?" And you hear another Mort kind of call out, "No, I don't think we got anyone new in here. Well, there's some people here." And he goes, "What are they, Morts? We'll send them in. I don't know. Go talk to the big guy."
All right.
All right.
And before you, as you step forward, I think Lance and Selcress, I mean, you guys were, like I said, it was just right as you started walking, so you're there as well. And you
sure,
start
why
moving forward towards the dojo and the kind of weight rack proper. And there, within the space, you can see a whole bunch of Morts, a lot of them, benching, curling, lifting miscellaneous weights, working on various equipment. There's one Mort that seems to be jumping rope, another Mort that looks to be, just doing some, tosses with a medicine ball to another Mort. And then, in the center of the room, kind of, it looks like doing yoga. There is one really big Mort. Stands about twice the height of the average Mort, maybe 7 or 8 feet tall, and he just looks like he's made of muscles. And one of them kind of calls out, "Master Swoldemort! Looks like new recruits or something?" And Swoldemort kind of looks over. A figure that you'd heard mentioned in past, one of those failed Mort experiments, who became absolutely massive, but was apprehended in Central City, well, whenever that was, a long time ago, before all of this. Swoldemort kind of looks over and he goes, "No, I wasn't really expecting any new recruits today. What are the 4 of you doing here?"
2.
In my gym.
Just 2. The other
Oh,
2
no.
haven't
we
gotten
got
back.
pulled along.
Oh no,
too.
you guys, they got dragged in.
Oh.
Because you guys were literally right where you walked in,
Okay.
just kind of in the hallway.
We want to be recruits.
And Kurogan, as you walk into this space, you hear a voice in your head, and that voice says to you, "Welcome home, Kurogan. Should I activate automated defenses systems?"
I'm gonna think. Yes.
And as you kind of go into the space, Kurogan, you do have to say it out loud.
Well, I mean, I just said something, so it's just him agreeing with me.
Oh yeah, as you call it, yes.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
well, no, I'm not saying that it's gonna blow your cover or anything.
Okay.
But it does.
Yeah.
It does use some vocal recognition, so it is gonna have to be Kurogan that says it.
Yeah, Kurogan's just gonna agree, really enthusiastic.
Yeah. And hold up my biceps, yeah.
In the Kurogan voice, it kind of calls out, and as that happens, you see around the space a large amount of the workout equipment and some of the just from the walls and things, auto defenses that you're not even sure you were aware were there, but were presumably just included by Bartholomew when he designed this building, all of a sudden just kind of kick on, and you see these turrets pop up. Kind of appear, some of them kind of course out of the walls, and they all begin to just open fire and
Holy shit!
And just tear up the inside of the place. It's not doing a lot of damage to the equipment, as some of the turrets are actually seem to be coming out of some of the more complicated racks of weights. But you hear Morts just kind of calling out, as
what kind of training regimen is this?
you watch as from underneath one of the Morts, a springboard kind of picks up and just kind of launches him and catapults him out a window where glass just shatters and whoa! As the 4 of you just stand there, and as the 4 of you just stand there in kind of shock, Swoldemort just kind of stands up and is looking around. You see the turrets kind of firing and hitting him, and they don't seem to have any effect. You watch as one of the springboards under the ground kind of goes to pick up, and it just kind of breaks under his incredible weight and girth. And he just looks at you. He just goes, "All right, I think there's something fishy going on here. Go ahead and roll."
What do you mean? I thought this was all you.
There's something fishy going on, alright.
I am in awe of my defenses.
Oh, my heart. I was not ready for this.
We'll roll that publicly. Good job. Selcress, you are the first to act in this instance.
Alright, so he's thinking something's not right, I guess. I wonder why.
Couldn't tell what his first hint was.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems weird. She's gonna snap her fingers. And,
All right.
you know, yeah, there's something fishy going on, and basically Levi turns visible and starts turning into a barb devil.
The entire space grows icy cold as you see frost appears on the outside of like the steel dumbbells. Some of the mechanisms in the floor that are launching Morts actually begin to kind of like seize up a bit from the intense cold as you invoke your decree, and Levi becomes a barbed devil.
And that's my action. So also bees activate, sure.
Yeah, the bees kind of fly out, and
Yeah.
Kurogan, can you read to me the text of the Jar of Bees? Just this once, I think it might actually be something.
It does 10 unavoidable piercing damage, ignoring resistance and immunity.
Okay. How would that interact with... Alright, yeah, no, bees fly out, and they begin to swarm him, and he's just kind of... you see him
Everyone hates bees.
You see as they just kind of watches as they fly over and kind of land on his pecs, and he goes, yeah, like those bees are gonna... like those bees are gonna hurt me. And as they go to sting... Bing, 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 bing! These bees do not affect this Mort.
What do you mean they don't affect the Mort?
I mean, these bees do not hurt this Mort. It sounds like they're just trying to sting just a solid chunk of iron.
Alright, well, Levi's gonna charge.
Alright.
And make 3, you know, magical-based claw and tail attacks.
Alright, for the first time ever, yeah.
Well, not really for the first
No, I'm
time.
talking about the bees.
Oh yeah, for the bees.
Yeah, it does say it's specific, just for clarification's sake, it says bees will swarm closest target, they take 10 piercing damage at the start of its turn, ignoring resistances and immunities.
Yeah, this is a
different.
This is a different thing, actually. And as Levi goes up to claw him, he just kind of watches as Levi runs up, and as the claws kind of go up and scratch into him in his arms and his legs, the tail kind of wicks around and catches him right in the neck. You just hear ding, 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 as he just kind of looks down and he goes, listen, I've trained my body to be steel. You ain't gonna hit me with anything like that, but it's good that you, well, I'm glad I know who to deal with. Morts, you're coming with me. And I believe that passes it on to Swoldemort's turn.
Shit.
As he's going to kind of flex, I think at this point, he's going to flex his right arm, and you see his bicep kind of ripple and grow what looks to be molten hot as he's going to use his burning bicep as he just is going to toss a burning bicep at all of you. I need y'all to make me a dex save.
What even with...
It's Lord Swoldemort.
I guess.
The classic enemy.
Levi's not
recurring character.
Levi's not gonna make one because he's immune to fire damage. And I am going to have an ouch.
Alright, yeah, those of you who succeed, which would be Lance and Kurogan, take half damage. Euchaunkus and Selcress both.
I take even less because, you know, resistance.
Oh, yeah, because you are fire, so you also take a quarter damage and then try.
I have resistance now too. Funny that. It's good. That came in handy real quick.
Fair enough.
So what is it? 6 damage?
In the future, I think you are supposed to pick that at the beginning of the day, right?
I don't know. That's pretty. I'm not gonna pick anything else. So
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, just in the future, or if you're just saying it's fire forever, that's also cool.
yeah, it's pretty much fire forever.
I wasn't gonna call you on it too much anyway. That's, I think, all for his turn. Actually, no, he's gonna move up. He's gonna move up next to you. I think he's just gonna look at Selcress, because you're the one who's done the most attacking so far, and he's gonna stand up next to you, Selcress, and he leans down and puts a massive hand over kind of your tiny Mort head, and you see him kind of like feel through the illusion, realize he's gone too far, his hand just kind of whips through, and he goes, "Oh, I see how it is."
No touching!
As he wanted to pick you up by the head, but he does not get to do that because he misses your head because it's an illusion. And that's all for his turn at the moment. That's going to bring us to Lance.
Well, good luck.
Lance, what you want to do?
Let's do the old classic. Let's start off with getting some sweet, sweet bless on us.
That'll do. You call upon Salune, I assume 2nd level.
Right, 2nd level. I always forget how many people I can actually target. 2nd level.
Alright, and all of you now gain the benefits of a bless. Anything else on your turn, Lance?
No double casting, right?
That is correct, sir.
That is
first,
only
I think
up around
first
1.
level or lower for you.
First level or lower.
Yeah, you can cast a 1st level spell.
I will, in that case, sanctuary myself.
Alright. You also take a moment to cast Sanctuary as you get Salune's protection upon you, and your allies both. Anything else, Lance?
That should do it.
In that case, that is going to bring us to the next initiative, which I believe is Euchaunkus.
Okay. Well, I will cast a 4th level Punchy Cloud.
4th level Punch Cloud, nice. What is that? Does it just hit harder when it hits?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and...
There's a 15 hit.
A 15 hits, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But unfortunately, as the Punchy Cloud goes and punches the side of Swoldemort's head, it crashes in, and his head does not budge, and again, he seems unfazed.
Alright, well, I'm gonna try something. He's implied he's basically metal.
Yeah, he's implied that. You don't know if it's true or not.
Well, let's find out.
Go ahead and roll damage on that. 7.
Yeah.
It zips up through his form, and you watch the lightning kind of like cascade around him, and he looks down at you, still unaffected, and he looks at you and he goes, like I said, you're gonna have to hit me a hell of a lot harder than that.
I think he's...
At the end of his turn, he's going to use a legendary action to punch you, Euchaunkus, who just tried to shock and grasp him. It's a 29 to hit.
Nah, yes, that hits.
That's 11 points of bludgeoning damage. As his fist just comes around, it catches you in the gut, and you feel your armor bend and kind of crunch in from the impact.
You know what? I'll try my reaction thing. He needs to make a dex save. That's pretty sure that's a fail. That's my DC. Yeah, that's a fail. He takes 10 lightning damage.
It doesn't do anything, unfortunately.
How does I wanna check. So technically, I can push him. I think.
If he fails the save, yeah, he'll definitely get pushed.
Because of the. All right, then he'll be pushed.
All right, yeah, he gets thrown back 10 feet.
Yeah. 10 feet. Yep.
As we move on to Kurogan. Kurogan, what do you want to do?
Well, first of all, bonus actioning to shrink. Actually, No, I'm not going to bonus action for that. Instead, I'm going to action to cast. No, I will a bonus action to go into Dragon's Fire, so
Okay.
I get my shield back. But also my spells are better.
Okay.
And then I'm going to action blur.
Ooh.
I don't know
you haven't used an action yet, have you?
No.
Okay.
That was just a bonus action.
Oh, action blur. I thought you were saying you were action surging and calling it action blur.
No. Action blur.
All right, you blur.
And then I'm gonna use an action surge.
Oh, okay, great.
To attack this guy. With my dragon greatsword, because I could do that. 14
Hits.
probably does. It hits. Okay, for
17, he's unfazed.
not the 3. The 3 doesn't count.
Oh, just the 14. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about next one? Unfazed still.
Slow.
You're getting that vibe.
Mm-hmm. But that does open up for something
But it just
for my
feels
next
like-
turn,
As you impact, like I said, it just feels like hitting a wall.
because next turn, I'm just gonna post that right there.
Okay. For the end of your next turn, awesome. All right, so you Eldritch strike, and you have prepped him for your upcoming attack. Anything else on your turn, Kurogan?
I believe that's all I can do.
All right, that is going to bring us to the top of the initiative, which is Selcress. So far,
Alright.
things just don't seem to be affecting this dude.
Yeah, that's not great. Let me see. I may have to do the thing. Which is to say... I have a couple different things I want to try, but... I'm only gonna do one. And... let me check how many... oh, it's proficiency bonus, right? I'm going to use my Frozen Crown feature to max out my Eldritch Blast damage. I have to hit with them, but...
Okay, so that's just going to guarantee that you do max damage with your Eldritch Blasts?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it do.
Yep.
I can pop up the thing, but it's really long.
Alright, go ahead and make your attack rolls.
Alright. Eldritch Blast. That's 1. That's 2. Do they both hit?
They both hit, and that damage is, I believe, 14 or 15.
Let me see. That's
This is the
15.
D10 plus your 15.
Yeah.
15's does not do anything to him, unfortunately. It's just the cold blasts just seem to just ricochet off him, like he's not even aware that they're there.
Okay, and then Levi. It's probably not gonna do anything. Levi's gonna. Can Levi defend for me or impose?
You want Levi to stand in front of you, like you're trying to basically use Levi as cover?
Yeah, use him as.
Yeah, I'll say that. Use Levi kind of steps in front of you defensively. Have Levi take the dodge action. I think is fair.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Levi kind of hops in front of you and gets into a defensive position, kind of shielding you from him and trying to defend himself as well. And that's going to bring us, at the end of your turn, he's going to use his last legendary action. Actually, he got pushed back, so he actually can't punch again with a legendary action. So he's just going to not do anything with it and move to his turn, at which point he is going to... he's going to hit you all with his... you see this time he kind of stretches and flexes, and he kind of goes into a quadricep stretch, and he's going to use quads of cold on you. I need you all to make me Constitution saving throws.
Con saves are the second, one of the few things I'm good at.
Yes. So those of you who succeeded on the con save, which is only Kurogan, actually will have bless. My apologies.
Alright.
So everyone,
Oh,
everyone roll that bless.
19.
19 is also going to do it, so you also take half damage. So you take 13, and Kurogan takes 13. Selcress, you fail, but take 13, because you're resistant to cold, I do believe.
Yeah, me and Levi are both resistant to cold.
And Lance, unfortunately, you take the full brunt of the 24 or 26 points of cold damage, as he uses his quads of cold. And he steps back up to go back in melee range, this time looking at you. Oh, and the bless goes down. That is rough, rough luck. And he goes to step back in range of you, Lance, I think at this point. He's going to step in between you and, like, Euchaunkus. That's all for his turn. I believe the turn now passes to Lance.
Well, I have a general idea of what I need to do this turn. I'll kind of just heave a bit of a sigh, and I will cast my first level bless on every except does anyone volunteer to not be blessed?
I mean, I can volunteer, sure.
I'm sorry, Selcress. I will bless everyone except Selcress with a first level bless. To lead into the real meat and potatoes of this is I will very calmly take a step or two over to Kurogan and just, in sort of the pause between his blade strikes, reach out and just with the two of my fingers, just the tip of the blade, catch his dragon greatsword, and I'm going to make this such a good dragon greatsword as I will holy weapon it.
Ooh. You holy weapon. You watch as your dragon greatsword, Kurogan, begins to glow with an incredibly bright and powerful light. Oh wow, that's very good. All right. Anything else on your turn, Lance?
That is all I've got.
That's gonna bring us to Euchaunkus.
Okay, I will bite him.
All right. Hits. Damage.
Don't break your teeth on him.
Plus a d8 of thunder damage.
Is that for, like, the crackling bite or whatever it is?
No, that's just for divine strike.
Oh, are you going to crackling bite as well?
No, I am going to expend 4 charges to use Cloud's Dominion.
Oh, what is
From
this?
my,
Remind me what this does again?
When you hit with a bite attack on your turn, you may expend 4 charges to make the bite a baneful bite. The target becomes affected by a variant version of the elemental Bane spell. This variant spell does not require concentration and lasts until the end of your next turn. Additionally, this variant spell affects both thunder and lightning damage types instead of a damage type of your choice.
Does he make a save?
I don't know. I was gonna ask Jeremy that in private, but
does spell up Elemental Bane?
The way it reads, it would indicate he might not make that ability reads.
Does Elemental Bane have a
Elemental Bane usually has a save.
Alright, his constitution is actually not as strong, so any crit failed, so either way.
Alright, great.
So he is now under the effects of, what's your element? Lightning, thunder?
Thunder and lightning for this ability.
Oh yeah, of course, it's both. So he has a bane against thunder and lightning, oh dear. That is gonna bring us to Kurogan, I think. Anything else on your turn? Punchy Cloud?
Yeah, Punchy Cloud.
Alright.
Unfortunately, Punchy Cloud only does force damage.
Damage?
For 16.
Yeah, no effect. As we move on to Kurogan's turn. Oh god.
I'm gonna do something to make this extra good. I'm gonna bonus action switch to the dragon's hide. So it increases my size to large. I have other various things. I also get to choose a damage resistance, and I'm gonna go with cold.
Okay.
I'm also resistant to cold.
Excellent.
All right, and then I'm going to attack.
All right. You have a fancy elemental weapon. It's 14.
Yeah.
It's 2d8 on each of those, Lance. Am I not mistaken on that? Or holy
2d8
weapon?
+1 because it's a +1 spell. Spell for
So that's 8 damage extra plus the large damage, so plus 4 more.
So in that attack,
It's not on fire, so the fire doesn't matter.
Okay, so it's 14, 18, 26 points of damage. All right, as you swing in with your dragon greatsword, the holy light kind of piercing through, Swoldemort continues to just look down at you, just kind of like condescendingly as the attack comes in. And this time, with the holy light combined with your swing, you cut through and leave a deep slash kind of about his gut as he takes the damage from this strike. And you see now a wound begin to kind of like drip blood.
Good. Second strike.
Oh, holy shit.
15.
Go ahead and
plus 9 plus 1.
Total of
25.
All right. The second strike, as it kind of comes in, it cuts about his the other side of his gut, and 2 huge slashes are left in his seemingly like steel rock hard abs at this point, and he's like coughing up blood. He's in obviously a lot of pain. He's gonna use a legendary action to go over next to you, Lance. Move without provoking. Actually, no, he's already next to Lance. I said that before. He's going to punch you, Lance.
Reaction to
Wisdom
disadvantage.
I believe you failed your concentration, didn't you?
Sanctuary is not concentration.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah.
Wisdom save. Oh, and he fails. So
Okay.
He's gonna punch you, Kurogan.
Okay. It
Right.
hits.
That's a 29. That's 10.
Ow.
That's 10 damage. You take as he smacks you one good. And you feel it echo throughout your golden scale armor, but he's starting to look a bit nervous as we move now to the top of the initiative, which is Selcress.
Hey, what up? It's me. Well, let's see. I'm gonna try and... Which spell do I want to try? I'm gonna do Synaptic Static. Yay, it's a new
Oh, no.
spell. Have fun!
Intelligence saving throw.
Uh,
He's pretty decent at these. Oh yeah.
Oh man, he saved.
This Mort is intelligent. So he's going to take half damage on a failed or so on a. All right, 21 points of psychic damage. You see his mind begin to kind of like reel and rattle about, and it seems, despite other effects, you actually seem to have kind of struck a little bit of a weak point here, which is
his mind is his weakness.
You can go after his brain. He's trained it as much as he can, but whatever strange effect, psychic damage seems to pierce through this.
I see.
Yeah, you hit him for 10 points of psychic damage, and he's kind of like reeling and shaking his head a little bit. At the end of your turn, he's going to use his last legendary action to try and swing at you again, Lance. 16 save?
Oh my, just so.
12 very much misses. As he goes to swing at you, his head still reeling from the psychic shock. He kind of jumbles around and just completely whips his punch. We move now on to his turn proper, where he's going to do some misty reps. You see he does some jumping jacks in place a little bit, and decides that he wants to like get out of his current situation, and misty reps away as he just appears on the other side of the room. And then he's going to cast... once he hits you once, he's good, right?
No.
On Sanctuary?
Yeah, no.
Oh man.
It's only if you attack that Sanctuary goes down.
He's gonna make a Wisdom save, which he still barely succeeds, and is going to cast Magic Muscle at you at 7th level.
Oh.
That's 33 damage to you, Lance.
So that's a DC 14? No. 16.
Yeah, it's a DC 16 concentration check.
Hey.
You pull it off. That was kind of his one hope, was seeing that sword taken care of. He's looking a little bit nervous, backed into the wall. Oh wait, never mind, that's a mistake. Jeremy is correct. It's not that you make one concentration check with the DC, it's that you make one for each missile, which is a total of 9 concentration checks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Shit.
Oh, nicely done. What can I say? He tried his best. That's gonna be all for his turn. And that's gonna be your turn now, Lance.
Okay. He's 30 feet away, right?
Yep.
Excellent. I know Kurogan's been hit here, and Kurogan's coming up, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cast a Mass Cure Wounds at, let's say, 4th level. I mean, not Mass Cure Wounds, Mass Healing Words.
Oh, Mass Healing Word, great.
About to say, is that a thing?
Roll that big heal.
Mass Cure Wounds is, but it's a bit too beefy for this. Give me 1 second, my sheet's frozen.
So.
I mean, if you want to.
Who's all getting heals?
I think everybody gets the heal. If you want to.
It's 4th level, so.
Do you have anything else on your turn, Lance? You can just roll the thing after you get it up. If you want to move on to Euchaunkus.
Oh yeah, I'm going to stride forward to Mort, and I am going to activate the help action for Kurogan coming into hit.
Oh no! When the help action is optimal, you know that there's a strange fight happening. And you heal everyone for, it looks like, 9 points.
And 18 to Selcress, because Selcress stuff.
Excellent.
Back up to full.
That's going to bring us to Euchaunkus.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
I assume this gym is a bit too small for me to do my cloud, right? Calling lightning.
It's a regular.
Great. I will Witch Bolt at 4th level.
Okay, so that's 80 damage.
I have to roll to hit.
Oh yeah. So that's 80 damage.
It's not quite 80. So let's see. So 4th level would be what, 12D or 4D12s?
He flexes, raising his armor class. It's not enough.
You have Bless.
Oh, it's D12?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh wait, he ignores resistances. I was thinking that it gave him vulnerability when you were using Elemental Blade, which is what I was.
No.
That would be ridiculous. Okay, so never mind. It's
48 plus the 2d6 from having Elemental Bane.
Yep.
So 60 damage.
60 damage. All right.
60 lightning.
You throw your hand out towards him, and the lightning beam just kind of like catches onto him, and he begins to shake. And you see his muscles, which are this very well-refined thing, begin to rattle, and his body looks like it's starting to break apart. And then in a sudden instant, Swoldemort just explodes in a shower of lightning and thunder as his body just now kind of litters the inside of the gym, as he did not have a lot of health on the whole.
That's what I kind of figured, but he has that ridiculous damage reduction.
He can't take damage lower than 20 was the rule.
I see.
But he didn't have a ton of health. And now he is gone.
Alright. Selcress is gonna use...
Raise the cloud!
Oh man, now I'm gonna have to clean all this up!
You watch as a Mort kind of wanders in, just, hey, what was going
Guns.
on here? It seems, and then immediately just like the springboard underneath his feet, whoa! And he crashes through a window. And you hear a voice kind of in your armor call out, Kurogan, your home is secure.
Thank you very much.
Selcress is just gonna do her frozen domain thing.
Make yourself a little castle in the gym?
No, not a castle. I'm just claiming it.
Oh, fair enough.
No,
Are you trying to claim my Kurogains?
I'm claiming it for us. This is our
Okay.
territory now.
Okay. That's
Don't
okay.
If I remember correctly, doesn't that make it icy forever?
I mean, until I tell it not
Well.
to be icy.
Whoa.
It's cold.
Make it around the Kurogains.
Fine. You have air conditioning. It's fine.
You claim the inside of it with your
Outside.
Oh, I'm sorry, the outside of it with your icy kind of fortress that you're almost putting together, and yeah, you guys.
Oh, I cough up those morts.
Yes, do that. Are they alive?
They should be.
And then they're instantly dying as those interior defenses just
Deactivate! Deactivate!
Let's restoration both of them.
Wait.
Yeah, they're
we
they're very
we-
much out of commission, but they're not dying.
Wait. We need to bring it back to Roger, so you don't have to waste that.
Alright, but we're gonna get rest anyway.
Wait, what? Oh, right, so we can make a mass cure.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, that.
Yeah.
So let's not do that. It's like Selcress sees him going to reach down, and no!
Oh, you're trying to you were trying to like unmort them with that lance.
I was about to, but luckily we're on a good enough wavelength so Chris can stop me.
Okay, great. And with that, Kurogains is seized.
Kurogains is ours. Also, I'm going to go
I said
activate the
Kurogains,
magic.
Kurogains. You go over to the sigil in the room. You can see like the sigil hasn't been like erased or anything. They just had, it looks like a bunch of like various equipment in here, and there's like a couple of small
Ugh.
scratches that you've.
No, my stuff.
There's definitely like a lot of mort sweat and stuff in here that you're gonna need to clean out over the course of the next couple days.
Yeah. I
but
can help you with that if you want. I got some servants.
I would appreciate that. This is going to take a lot of work.
Alright.
But,
So
I
Chris
can make
spawns
things
an
a bit
ice
safer.
castle inside of Kurogains.
Lance will begin the preparations to hallow to get rid of all the residual mortness.
and as you begin the work of cleaning up Kurogains, you are aware that there's definitely some morts that are out on the streets now that are aware that there's some shit going down at Kurogains. But Kurogan, and in particularly, but everyone, you're home. You have a spot again in the land of DnDTime.
Guys, we
Yeah,
did
it's
it.
ours.
We have our foothold.
Yes.
Alright, let's go get mine next.
Are there any more morts hanging around in here, like unconscious?
Oh no, they all got sent out by the thing.
Okay.
We can collect some more later, it's fine. I mean, we did deal with the big bad Mort.
Yeah, he's not coming back to life.
I'll eat his pieces.
Alright, maybe Roger can do something with the pieces.
Very
Oh,
tastes
yeah.
very synthetic.
Not good. Not good.
No? It's,
No.
Is it a little like chalky?
He's fake. He's all fake meat. It's like
Ugh.
tofu or something.
Ugh.
You got to be careful with the fake meat, that's why I never added it to my regimen.
And as you kind of reactivate the symbol, you see it kind of like blaze with light, and it gets kind of primed. Like you can tell that Roger is basically calling you back if you wish to go back.
Let's go!
Let's go.
And up and away, as you catapult out, the top of the building, just kind of a small circle just kind of slides to the side for you guys to launch out, and then slides closed again as you rocket upwards into space away from the land of DnDTime and back to your base upon the moon. As you return, you land in the center chamber room, standing next to Roger and the arcane catapult, unharmed and with success in your adventure.
And we have a couple Morts.
and two unconscious morts that you slop on the ground in front of Roger.
They are slimy.
Yeah, they are real slimy. Here you go, Roger. Have some. Have
Wow,
some.
you did it! That was incredible.
Why do you sound surprised?
I don't
Because
know.
he shit the bed on his first attempt.
Whoa!
That's
Whoa!
the truth.
Whoa!
Harsh. No, I sensed that there was some sort of large blast. That we sensed it all the way up here in space. I assumed you were all dead.
No, that was him.
Yeah, that was the big bad Lord Svoldemort dying.
I
Well,
thought that was the
with that all figured out, you could probably start to trade up there a little bit. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff in Kurogains that can help you out in the long term.
Oh yes, plenty.
What do you think you
Yes.
want to do next? I mean, with these morts, I can start figuring out how to cure them.
We have
Yeah, do
information.
that.
Yeah, you should work on that. Let's find a deck of many things.
Oh, that'd be
No!
great, but no.
Whoa,
Well, now.
bud, let's go.
So,
Whoa.
Roger, I have some information that might be useful. It turns out the Morts are going to war with the Green Sun.
Yeah, we may have lit a green
Why?
sun fire. I'm not sure, actually.
You didn't figure anything out.
Well, apparently it's an order from the Mort.
Mm-hmm.
The mort.
Yeah.
I always thought he kind of got out of it. Retired.
I guess he's still around. Yeah, maybe the Green Sun has something on the lens. I mean, that's the only reason I could think of for them to go to war.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, the Morts have it pretty damn good. And with the Green Sun at their back with, running all the major operations, this doesn't make a lot of sense for them to fight each other. Unless it were for something big.
Yeah, so maybe the lens. We might have to go back as Morts later and scope things out.
Yeah, you know what? I think kicking the Morts out of Central City is a good first step, if that's where you're going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Indeed.
you know what? I should legend lore something, right?
Yeah, we
Nope.
should do that.
No, we shouldn't do that.
I think we should do that.
No.
I don't know.
You see Bartholomew hologram appear in the space. There's a lot of planar interference today. And
Oh, you
I
would
mean,
know,
I-
I guess, huh, old man?
I mean, you know what? I think we should do it.
all right, yeah, go ahead and give it a shot. What are you legend loring?
Bartholomew.
You get no information back, unfortunately.
Damn it.
The
What's the shot?
sword!
The sword. There's just a lot of planar interference today.
Oh, damn it.
Kurogan, you try and legend lore. Is what you say out loud as you do nothing because you can't cast that spell.
I don't want this. I don't
Just
want
for-
this
just-
planar interference anymore. I'm gonna divine intervention
Um,
at the end of every
Alright.
session. Nope.
just great big cloud. Remove the great big evil. So I rolled a 10.
It's like Euchaunkus looks out the no, hey Cloud, can you tell me anything? No, guess not.
Oh,
Could
do you want to know what my note to the
inspiration on curing the Morts?
Do you want to know what my note to the the warlock said, Pete? I feel like that's relevant. Whoa.
Every time I'm
Keep
so
getting
close.
So close.
I want to know what it is in the legend chat. Or actually, yeah, we'll say it now.
Okay. It's just a note, an anonymous note implicating Bloom as the one that ruined Lauren. Just went
just now, like years and years and years later, just like that was blue.
Mm-hmm.
Spitefully blame Bloom.
Well, hopefully, if he's around, they'll fight each.
We'll see.
Bloom's one of the great evils. He's the fastest gun in the West, guys.
Yeah,
You didn't know
Really?
that?
Bloom has mastered
Everyone know that.
gunsmanship, and thank you all for watching Pete and Jeremy's D&D time. Jeremy, you want to go to the outro? We don't
We're
have
already
anything
on
else.
the outro screen.
There's
We're gonna do
no
some-
shot.